Hello friends, welcome to Manu Law Classes. I am Gautam Dixit, जीके एंड करंट अफेयर्स फैकल्टी। आज के इस वीडियो में हम 12 अक्टूबर 2021 का डेली हिंदू एनालिसिस करेंगे। जो कल के कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़ थे जो आज के न्यूज़पेपर में भी कंटिन्यू होंगे। हमने कल देखा था जैसे कि देयर वाज एन इनॉग्रेशन ऑफ इंडियन स्पेस एसोसिएशन, सो द इंडस्ट्री दे हैव सीक सम क्लैरिटी ऑन स्पेस पॉलिसी एंड दे हैव हाईलाइटेड द प्रॉब्लम। कल के न्यूज़ में हमने देखा था कि द 13th कमांडर लेवल टॉक बिटवीन इंडिया एंड चाइना फॉर डी एस्केलेशन इन हॉट स्प्रिंग was to be discussed that ended in impasse, so there is no de-escalation at hot spring right now and the other emerging issues are there. उसके बाद हम पिछले 3 दिन से लगातार पढ़ रहे हैं कि the targeted killing of civilians in J&K has increased. हमने फिर कल के न्यूज़ में ये भी पढ़ा था कि there was an investigation by NIA arresting 2 IS operatives, and again the army they were conducting searches in J&K and there was some arrest of the militants who were associated with resistance front. अब ये resistance front क्या है? ये एक शैडो है, शैडो ग्रुप है किसका? लश्कर तैयबा का, एंड इट इज़ सपोर्टेड बाय पाकिस्तान। तो आज का जब न्यूज़ देखते हैं, कल के न्यूज़ में हमने आशीष मिश्रा के बारे में भी पढ़ा था दैट ही वाज सेंट टू 14 डे जुडिशल कस्टडी। सो आज भी वो न्यूज़ में है। कल के न्यूज़ में हमने एक और बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़ पढ़ा था, वो था कि द bookings of railways and airways have started and it is reaching a pre-pandemic level। और आज के हम इकोनॉमिक्स में भी देखेंगे कि उसका फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री का एक ऑब्जर्वेशन है कि नाउ द इंडिया इज़ ऑन द ट्रेजेक्ट्री ऑफ रिकवरी। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द न्यूज़ टुडे। आज का जो पहला इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़ है, देखिए आप ध्यान देंगे इस वाले न्यूज़ में दैट 5 आर्मी मैन 2 मिलिटेंट्स किल्ड इन 4 गन फाइट्स इन J&K इन अ सिंगल डे। इसका मतलब यह है कि द आर्मी इज कैरिंग आउट द कॉन्डोर एंड सर्च इन पीर पंजाल्स वैली वेरी इंटेंसिवली आफ्टर द किलिंग ऑफ अ लीडिंग फार्मासिस्ट एंड टीचर एंड अ प्रिंसिपल इन द वैली इन द पास्ट डेज। सो इफ यू विल जस्ट फोकस, देखिए यहाँ पे अगर हम ध्यान देंगे तो अ मैसिव कॉम्बिंग ऑपरेशन का मतलब होता है कि टेररिस्ट को ढूंढना, उनको साफ करना। So a massive combing operation, it was launched in Pir Panjal Valley। पीर पंजाल वैली को नॉर्मली हम कश्मीर वैली से एसोसिएट करते हैं, ओके। एंड दे केम इन हैवी फायर ऑन मंडे मॉर्निंग from the militants who may have been infiltrated. Now see who are these militants and from where they have come. So these are the militants who may have infiltrated, मतलब घुसपैठ recently through the line of control in Poonch district. So this is very important, line of control in Poonch district. So if you will see the line of control, so it is the control that the Indian side is controlled by Indians, the Pakistani side is controlled by Pakistani. There is no clear-cut international border over there. Then the army which carried out the cordon and search operation, they carried out in the villages and which led to fight and killing of 5 army men. Now what is the problem in Jammu and Kashmir? So see, there is one local problem, that why terrorists are successful in inflicting the death or damage to the valley. So see, 3 to the 4 heavily armed militants were suspected to be hiding in the tough terrain that has dense forest cover। मतलब terrorist लोग आते हैं, अटैक करते हैं and then they go into a dense forest cover, जहाँ पे आर्मी को उन्हें ढूंढ पाना थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है। So army has not confirmed any casualty of the militants so far। अब जो मारे गए हैं यहाँ पे देखिए, द रेजिस्टेंस फ्रंट TRF का नाम बहुत ज़्यादा आ रहा है, दैट वाज बिहाइंड द सिविलियन किलिंग लास्ट वीक इन 2 सेपरेट ऑपरेशंस। द 2 अल्ट्रास हैव बीन किल्ड बाय द इंडियन आर्मी, ओके। देन देयर वाज शूट आउट इन अनंतनाग। सो इन अनदर ऑपरेशन इन अनंतनाग एन अनआइडेंटिफाइड मिलिटेंट वाज किल्ड, ओके। एंड ऑन द स्पेसिफिक इंफॉर्मेशन द पुलिस वेंट टू पिक अप the militant, okay, and which led to gun fight. The next news which is coming is from India China commander talks, okay. So it was the 13th commander level talk. This is very important, 13th commander level talk. So since the Galwan Valley standoff in May 2020, 11th 12th and 13th commander level talk has taken place to ease the situation। और वहाँ पे कुछ जो disputed areas हैं जहाँ पे perception differ करता है उसको वहाँ पे डिसएंगेज करना। सो ऑलरेडी द डिसएंगेजमेंट हैज हैपेंड एट पैंगोंग सो लेक एंड गोगरा। Now the 13th round of senior military commander talk, it focused on this engagement in Hot Spring, but which has not taken place. Now why it has not taken place? Because China has alleged India that it is not following a constructive discussion with China and it is already trying to alter the status quo. Now Indian army का भी यही प्रॉब्लम है चाइना के साथ, that the Indian Chinese army is trying to change the status quo in the area which has led to the impasse. अब देखिए इस न्यूज़ को कनेक्ट कीजिए. पहले क्या होता है? नाउ तवांग इज अ डिस्प्यूटेड एरिया इन अरुणाचल प्रदेश. ओके, इन चाइना जो है इसको तिब्बत ऑटोनोमस रीजन का पार्ट मानता है, बट इट इज इन अरुणाचल प्रदेश. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इन तवांग इज that one Chinese soldier is detained by Indian army and later it is released under the protocol. After that there was the angry confrontation by PLA, People's Liberation Army of China, and under that background this 13th round of senior military commander talk, it failed. Okay, so this is one of the important news for today. Now the next is that industry seeks clarity on space policy. Now यहाँ पे क्या है कि the Indian government since this budget is trying to privatize the space sector and it wants involvement of private sector in manufacturing of satellites and launching of satellites. Now for that an association has been set up which is called as Indian Space Association. It aims to represent the interest of space sector with government and private sector bodies, which includes Indian Space Research Organization. Indian Space Research Organization जो है वो Indian Space Association का member है. Then Walchand Nagar Industry, Tata Nelco, Pixel, MapMe India and Bharti Airtel. All of them are urging the government that the government should provide a clarity on space policy and it should enable the small and medium sector enterprises that they should have access to more capital so that they can benefit from the new space policy, which gives a chance to private sector also to participate in the emerging space sector in India. Now this is also very important, Desh Ke Mentor program. So Desh Ke Mentor program, it is launched by the Delhi government and it involves the mentorship of program for children who are studying in classes 9 to 12. Now under this program, students they will be mentored by volunteers from across the country for 10 to 15 minutes daily, and this mentoring will be related with career choices and teen related concern. तो यहाँ पे जो एक कॉन्सेप्ट है वो एक इंडियन फैमिली का कॉन्सेप्ट लिया गया है. जैसे कि इंडियन फैमिली में देयर इज ऑलवेज अ एल्डर ब्रदर और सिस्टर टू गाइड द किड्स दैट व्हाट दे शुड डू एंड व्हाट करियर चॉइस दे शुड टेक. ठीक उसी कॉन्सेप्ट पे द देश के मेंटर प्रोग्राम हैज़ बिन लॉन्च्ड. ओके, नाउ सम स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ दिस मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम. देखिए द मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम इट विल बी ऑफ 2 to 6 months. ओके, द फर्स्ट 2 months विल बी कंपल्सरी मॉड्यूल एंड द रिमेनिंग 4 विल बी ऑप्शनल. ये जो मेंटर्स होंगे दे विल बी कमिंग फ्रॉम वेरियस प्रोफेशनल एंड एकेडमिक बैकग्राउंड्स एंड दे विल बी गाइडिंग 2 to 5 students each, and they will also help the students in the overall personality development by sharing their knowledge, skills and expertise. Now Delhi High Court judge gets 2 new judges, so this is very important. So the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court D.N. Patel has administered the oath of office to Justice Yashwant Verma and Chandana Dhari Singh, who were transferred to Delhi High Court from the Allahabad High Court. Now about the Gurugram, under the Catch the Rain plan of Jal Jeevan Abhiyan or Jal Shakti Abhiyan. Under the Jal Shakti Abhiyan's Catch the Rain, water conservation and rainwater harvesting structures have been constructed and groundwater wells have been revived, or you can say recharged, in Gurugram. So over here the important point is that Catch the Rain plan is under which of the following initiatives? So it is under the Jal Shakti Abhiyan. This Catch the Rain plan was announced by the Prime Minister last year. अब हम इंडिया चाइना के न्यूज़ पे आते हैं. ठीक है ना, यहाँ पे हम फोकस करेंगे कि देयर इज़ सम इम्पॉर्टेंट फैक्चुअल इन्फॉर्मेशन यहाँ पे है. एक फैक्चुअल इन्फॉर्मेशन ये है कि जो कल भी हमने डिस्कस किया था दैट अबाउट देशपांग. ओके, अबाउट देशपांग. ओके, so it is also one of the friction point currently. Despang is also a friction point. The second friction point is Demchok. The second friction point is Demchok. These both are legal issues. Okay. So अभी जो हम हैं, the Indian Army is trying to resolve all the three friction points which are hot springs, Demchok and Depsang. Now Depsang जो है इसका और Demchok का प्रॉब्लम थोड़ा सा अलग है, that they are the legacy issues. Legacy issues मतलब कि पास्ट में इनके कुछ ऐसे एग्रीमेंट्स हैं जिनके वजह से इनका जो रिजोल्यूशन है थोड़ा टफ होता है. ओके, so this is not related to the incident which happened last year, so that is called as legacy issue, that they have some background. So right now the talk is going on at hot spring, that is patrolling point 15. We have already disengaged at Gogra, patrolling point 17. Now again the news जो हमने पिछले दिन किया था, that Ashish Mishra who has been accused of mowing down 4 farmers in Tikonia in Lakhimpur Kheri district of Uttar Pradesh has been sent to 14 days judicial custody, and out of that 3 days will be police custody, not more than 3. Now Ashish Mishra is the son of Union Minister Ajay Mishra. Okay, and in this incident 8 persons were killed, 4 farmers, 3 BJP workers and a local journalist. Okay, they all were killed according to the first information report. Now in this news which is coming from the first page itself कि space policy में privatization बढ़ाने के लिए where the government should focus. So the government has discussed various pillar. So the first pillar is about the freedom of innovation to private sector. Freedom of innovation to private sector. Second क्या है, that the role of the government is enabler. Okay, the third is that preparing youth for the future, and the fourth is to see the space sector as a resource for progress of common man. अगर common man का progress होना है, the space sector should get into preparing better mapping, imaging and connectivity facilities for the common people. At the same time, the space sector should also lead to better speed from shipment to delivery for entrepreneurs, and better security and income for fishermen, and better forecast for natural calamity. These are the application of space sectors. Okay, now some of the other important points highlighted by the industrialist. One of the industrialist, Chirag Doshi, he says that there should be a deeper engagement with academia, industry and government for research and development in space sector. At the same time, small and medium enterprises, they should work closer, they should be provided opportunity, especially the financial opportunity and better financing, so that they can contribute to the space development in India. Then the other industrialist, PJ Nath of Tata, he says that there is a need for a new space policy for providing clarity on this. Then Rohan Marma, CEO of Map My India, he has urged the Prime Minister to install companies mapping software in every phone for promoting indigenous innovation. UK asks India to update climate goals. अब अगर हम इस न्यूज़ को ध्यान से देखें तो इस न्यूज़ में कुछ important information आया हुआ है. The first information is about what is nationally determined contribution. That is the first news. The second is that India has launched National Hydrogen Mission. So what is the hydrogen mission, which was announced in the budget. Then the third is what is the renewable energy target of India. Then the fourth is what is net zero emission and why India is not agreeing to it. Okay, and the fifth one is that conference of parties to UNFCCC will be held where this year. Okay, so these are some of the important information. The sixth information will be who will be chairing the COP26, which will be held in Glasgow. So now over here the context is that a British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, he has spoken to our Prime Minister Narendra Modi urging India to announce a more ambitious nationally determined contribution. Now this nationally determined contribution under the Paris Agreement was first submitted by India in 2016, which envisaged that India will try to reduce its emission intensity by 33% by 2030 from 2005 level. Then the second one is that India will install 40% of its power capacity, which will be based on renewable energy. Now the third is about planting the carbon sink, generating the carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons by 2030, जो यहाँ पे लिखा नहीं है. Now इसमें से अगर हम 40% ऑफ जो हम अगर रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी की बात करें, जो इंडिया टारगेट कर रहा है कि 40% विल बी installed by 2030. इसमें इंडिया का एक टारगेट है that to achieve this target, India has its own target of installing 450 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2030, which India is doing. The second is that UK wants India to declare a deadline for achieving net zero carbon emission. Now the net zero carbon emission वो situation होता है कि the carbon which is emitted during industrial production is absorbed by the carbon sink. Now USA has declared the net zero carbon emission target to be 2050 and many countries are going up with this 2050. बट अंडर चाइना का जो नेट जीरो एमिशन टारगेट है वो 2060 है, बट इंडिया ने अभी तक ये गोल नहीं दिया हुआ है. ओके, नाउ व्हाई देयर इज अ प्रेशर फ्रॉम एवरी साइड दैट देयर इज अ नीड फॉर नेट जीरो एमिशन टारगेट. तो हम इसको एडिटोरियल में भी आज पढ़ेंगे, ये इससे कनेक्टेड है कि IPCC इंटर गवर्नमेंटल पैनल ऑन क्लाइमेट चेंज का रिपोर्ट है विच सेज दैट इवन अचीविंग द rise in global temperature, even restricting the rise in global temperature at 1.5 degrees Celsius is not enough to counter the global warming and its negative impact. So the world should move faster. So that's why there is a pressure on each and every country to revise the NDC, nationally determined contribution, and to fix a deadline for net zero carbon emission. Okay. NDC was submitted by each and every country during the Paris Climate Agreement in 2015. Now what is National Hydrogen Mission? So National Hydrogen Mission was announced in the Union Budget 2021-22, and under this now the hydrogen will be developed as a source of energy, that is especially green hydrogen, means splitting the water into hydrogen and oxygen using renewable energy. The next is what is COP26? So it is a conference of the party. So conference of the party to what? Conference of the party to United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Okay, तो इनके COP जो 26th मीटिंग होने वाली है, it will be held in Glasgow from October 31st to November 12. The next issue which was coming was about the Covishield recognition. So the last week the United Kingdom had agreed to recognize Indian administered Covishield, and it has waived the need for nationals who are coming from India and 36 other countries to undertake home quarantine if they are vaccinated with Covishield. The next is that Modi is going to attend G20 virtual meeting on Afghanistan. तो यहाँ पे अगर हम देखेंगे so the G20 leaders ये अक्टूबर 12 को virtually मिलेंगे and they are going to discuss the situation on Afghanistan. Over here, one thing which should be highlighted is United Nations Security Resolution 2593. तो United Nations Security Resolution 2593 के अंदर it has been mentioned that Taliban should not allow the territory of Afghanistan to be used by any other terrorist group for carrying out attack. The second was that Taliban will respect the human rights of the minorities, women and children. Only then it will be only then the recognition or by the international community can be discussed. So this meeting is all about that whether to give recognition to Taliban or not. So India has a very cautious approach, and India calls for observing the demands of UNSC resolution 2593, which is very necessary. Now Adani Group tightens cargo movement. तो ये पास्ट का न्यूज़ है बट बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट न्यूज़ है. Now September 16 को the Department of Revenue Intelligence seized about 3000 kg of heroin from 2 containers in Mundra port, which is controlled by Adani, and this was transported to India from Bandar-e-Abbas port in Afghanistan. ओके, ईरान बंदर-ए-अब्बास पोर्ट, ईरान में ये कहाँ से आया? अफगानिस्तान से. इट वॉज ट्रांसपोर्टेड इन द नेम ऑफ talc. This is not heroin, it is talc, and later it was seized. Under that, now to avoid all such things in future, now the Adani Group has announced that it will not handle the EXIM का मतलब होता है एक्सपोर्ट इम्पोर्ट, EXIM containerized cargo originating from 3 countries, Iran, Pakistan and Afghanistan, from coming November 15. Now from foreign affairs, this is very important news. Ready for strategic partnership agreement with Russia, says Iran. So now Iran, Russia and China, we have to focus over here, especially after the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan. Now if we just see this paragraph, that Iran, China and Russia, the eastern axis is emerging. Now why we are saying that? Now because Iran and Russia are going to sign the global agreement for cooperation very soon. The second is that in this they are going to improve their relations and they are going to concentrate on strategic partnership. Such agreement Iran has already signed with China, which is the 25-year strategic and commercial cooperation agreement with China. Okay, so these are the two important agreement between Iran and Russia, Iran and China. At the same time, Iran has called on the European countries to guarantee an existing nuclear deal that the parties are set to revisit during a planned resumption of talks in Vienna. So now हमने कल एक न्यूज़ किया था जिसमें ये आया था कि ईरान ने 20% न्यूक्लियर एनरिचमेंट कर चुका है अपने यूरेनियम का, एंड 120 kg ऑफ यूरेनियम हैव बीन एनरिच्ड अप टू 20%. हमने ये भी देखा था कि टू मेक अ न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब वी नीड 170 kg, we need about 170 kg of uranium enriched to 90%. ओके, और हमने ये भी देखा था कि जो जॉइंट कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव पार्टनरशिप ओके जो था विच इज कॉल्ड एज ईरान न्यूक्लियर डील, द यूएस बैक्ड आउट एंड दैट डील फेल्ड. सो नाउ टू रिवाइव दैट डील, now Iran is saying to European Union that they must come out with some nuclear deal, okay, just to revive the Iranian nuclear deal. The next is about the Schallenberg, sworn in as Austria's leader. So if we will just see here, the Australian president Alexander Van der Bellen swore in Alexander Schallenberg, who is the former foreign minister, as the chancellor of Austria. Now after the resignation of Sebastian Kurz. Now the news which is coming from Hong Kong. So for understanding this news we have to understand a little basic. When in last editorial we were discussing about Taiwan, that why Taiwan is not agreeing to China's one China policy is related over here. So for Hong Kong, China followed one country two system policy. Under that, Hong Kong was allowed to retain its economic structure, its judicial structure different from mainland China, but which was taken over by China last year. Okay, so last year China passed a series of reforms which considerably changed the composition of legislature of Hong Kong, and now the elected representatives will be less in number and the nominated members who are seen as pro-China or patriot, they will be more in number. So under that protest, the Hong Kong's largest pro-democracy party is not going to participate in the poll which is going to be held in December. Now Tunisia gets a new government with record number of women. Now this is the news. Now who is the new woman? Now see, yes, इसका एक बैकग्राउंड है. इसका बैकग्राउंड क्या है कि जो टूनिशिया के जो प्रेसिडेंट थे, ठीक है, what he does that he passes a reform in Tunisia and concentrates all his power in his hand after dismissing the popularly elected government in Tunisia. After that, he appoints a new prime minister, which is Najla Bouden. She becomes the first woman prime minister of Tunisia. And now Najla Bouden under President Kais Saied, okay, Kais Saied appoints various ministers, out of which 10 are women. The next is about the Nobel Prize for Economics. So the Nobel Prize for Economics was awarded on Monday. Now see, it is awarded. So see, the prize is divided into two. One prize will go to Dr. David Card. So one prize will go to one part will go to Dr. Card, and the second part will be shared between two, that is Guido Imbens and Joshua Angrist. Now coming to Dr. Card's contribution. So he has showed in a research that increase in minimum wage does not lead to less hiring, and second, that immigrants do not lower the pay for native born workers. Okay, जैसे कि पहला क्या है कि अगर मिनिमम वेज इंक्रीज हुआ तो लेबर कॉस्ट बढ़ गया, so does it lead to less hiring? So he says no, does not lead to less hiring. Second, immigration means बाहर से लोग किसी एरिया में आ रहे हैं, will it lead to competition to local people from the immigrants So he says no. Okay, so immigrants do not presence of immigrants does not lower the pay. कि अगर immigrants ज़्यादा नंबर में आते हैं तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि payment will be low. Okay, so these two things which is commonly held notions has been challenged by him. Now, as I was discussing, so see, we had the IIP data, then which is showing recovery, then we had the traveling data, and now we have the finance ministry saying that the mobility is reaching 90% of pre-pandemic levels, so economic recovery is on a fast track. Now this fast track is basically because of ebbing of the second COVID-19 wave. Ebbing का मतलब कम होना. So ebbing of the second COVID-19 wave and fast-paced vaccination. ये vaccination fast-paced हम क्यों कह रहे हैं? So see this paragraph. India's average daily inoculation rate witnessed a 91% increase from rupees 41.3 lakh in June to 78.7 lakh in September, which is highest in the world just after China. उसके बाद हमने IIP डेटा देखा था, इंडेक्स ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन लास्ट वीक में, तो वहाँ पे भी हमें ग्रोथ दिख रहा है. देयर इज अ ग्रोथ इन इंडस्ट्रियल आउटपुट. देन देयर इज मॉडरेशन ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन. मॉडरेशन ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन क्यों? बिकॉज रिसेंटली द मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी कमिटी हैज़ रिवाइज्ड इस इन्फ्लेशन फ्रॉम 5.7% टू 5.3% फॉर करंट ईयर, जो हमने पहले भी पढ़ा है और आज के एडिटोरियल में भी है. सेकेंड इज that if we see the agriculture, so in agriculture there is a robust growth. So agriculture is continued, agriculture is showing a very robust growth. If we see the kharif production, so there is increase in kharif production. At the same time there is procurement of government in wheat and paddy is very high, and the ongoing kharif marketing season also the procurement is very high, especially by the good monsoon in September. अच्छा, अगर हम क्रेडिट की बात करें, बैंक क्रेडिट मीन्स कि जितना ज़्यादा बैंक का क्रेडिट बढ़ेगा इसका मतलब उतना ही ज़्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ने वाला है, उतना ही ज़्यादा एम्प्लॉयमेंट की भी ग्रोथ होने वाली है. सो इफ़ यू सी द ग्रोथ इम्प्रूव टू 6.7%. ओके, द ग्रोथ ऑफ क्रेडिट फ्रॉम द बैंक्स फ्रॉम 5.3%. नाउ इफ यू विल जस्ट सी OneWeb लाइकली टू यूज इसरोज प्लेटफॉर्म फॉर 2020 लॉन्चेस. सो और OneWeb अगर जो है, OneWeb ये भारतीय एंटरप्राइजेस का है जो एयरटेल भी ऑपरेट करता है. सो OneWeb विच ऑलरेडी हैज़ 332 सैटेलाइट्स इन ऑर्बिट, इट विल यूज इसरोज बिल्ड PSLV एंड GSLV Mark III एज अ पोटेंशियल प्लेटफॉर्म टू लॉन्च OneWeb सैटेलाइट्स इन इंडिया फ्रॉम 2020. ओके, एट द सेम टाइम द OneWeb इट हैज़ एंटर्ड इनटू अरेंजमेंट थ्रू with the New Space India Limited, which is the commercial arm of Indian Space Research Organization, and with this arrangement or contract it is allowed to use PSLV and GSLV Mark III. The next is that now Coal India Limited has promised to scale up the supply of coal to power utilities across the country to 1.51 million tons daily per day. वैसे 1.7 मिलियन टन्स की डिमांड होती है, पर 1.51 मिलियन टन्स the Coal India is going to supply, which is considered as lowering the power shortage in India. The next is that India is the third largest energy consumer, and India has been invited to become the member of International Energy Agency. Okay, now how it will help India? So if India becomes the member of International Energy Agency, so it will allow New Delhi to raise its strategic oil reserves to 90 days requirement. Okay, now India was the associate member of this group since March 2017. Now just discussing what we discussed on page 1, dangerous deadlock. Winter is approaching. There is impasse on the 13th commander level talk. There is presence of large number of troops from both the sides, from Indian side and Chinese side. Okay, so and this is going to continue this year also in the harsh winter. So this has become a problematic, okay, especially in the eastern Ladakh region because no solution came from the 13th round of talk. Now, as I have discussed that following the Taiwan incident in Arunachal Pradesh, the Chinese they found that India is making a very unreasonable and unrealistic demand, and there was no agreement reached to disengage at Gogra. The next is that our Indian Army Chief General M.M. Narwane, he has also noted that there is a large scale infrastructure build up on the Chinese side, and Chinese troops are going to stay there throughout the winter. Okay, and the Ladakh and western sector will remain the focus of tension. Okay, and especially now we can see that there is tension also along Uttarakhand and Arunachal Pradesh border. Okay, limits to accommodation. So this is about the RBI monetary policy, the accommodative RBI monetary policy. So RBI adopted the accommodative monetary policy to diffuse the liquidity shortage in market, okay, and to improve the demand. But now since inflation is rising, now there is a pressure on RBI to roll back its accommodative policy. So if we will just see that this demand is made by one of the member of monetary policy committee, Professor Jayant Verma, who is saying that this accommodative monetary policy is leading to stimulating asset price inflation, and it has very less impact on reducing the distress in the economy. The second is, moreover, when the fuel prices will be high, inflation will be very high. So it is not the RBI, but it is a role of government to bring down the taxes on fuels, so that the inflation can be on the so that the inflation will be under control. So that is the main thing which this article is trying to say. The next is about Pegasus. So here is the background of Pegasus. So many of you who have missed the Pegasus issue, it is a very good article to revise and to know all the issue related to Pegasus. So what is Pegasus? First of all, Pegasus is a software to carry out surveillance in mobile phones, laptops, whatever, and this Pegasus is built by an Israeli cyber arm which is called as NSO Group. Now the NSO Group says that it owns its clients. This means clients ka matlab the NSO Group sells its Pegasus software only to government or government agencies, not to other people. But now it has been revealed through many reports that there were around 50,000 mobile phone numbers which has been potentially infected by the Pegasus. Many of them were Indians and who were journalists, activists and politicians. First, the Pegasus issue was highlighted in 2018. Again in 2019 it was highlighted that Bhima Koregaon case, okay, the accused in the Bhima Koregaon case, their mobile was also under surveillance using the Pegasus software. But then the recent WhatsApp notification says that around 121 Indian citizens were targeted using Pegasus software. Now the next is that what is the government, when the government was called for explanation, okay. So now see, the response of government of India and the response of some foreign government like France and Morocco is different. France and Morocco, they have called for immediate investigation, but in India, when the questions was raised in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the government's response was stonewalling, that the government did not give any credible information that why the surveillance was carried out, what was its need, who were the part of whose mobile phones were infected, and whether the proper authorization was taken or not. So there is no clear answer from the government on this. So if the parliament is failing on its duty to hold the executive responsible, so it is the right of every Indian citizen to approach the court. Now before the court, the issue is very simple. The issue is that the court should ask the government that whether the government of India authorizes the use of Pegasus. Was there any justification for this type of surveillance? Was there any wrongdoing? Okay, was there any breach? If there is any breach, then bringing government to bringing accountability on the government. Now if you will just see that same what happened over in parliament, the same thing is repeating over here, that the national security issue, under that cloak, okay, the government is trying to hide the issue according to this article. The second is that what is the conduct of the court. So if we just see that if the parliament was unable to hold the executive responsible, but what the court has done, that after the passage of 2.5 months since this Pegasus issue is in the court, The court has not passed any orders or directing the government to provide the information which it has refused earlier. The second, when the West Bengal government set up an inquiry committee, it was halted by the court. So the author says that there is a need for direction to be given to the government. The court has said that it is going to establish a committee for this purpose, but that is not going to solve the problem unless the government gives the information that why the citizens were targeted, which citizens were targeted, and was it justified or not. Setting up the committee is not going to solve the problem. Okay, so the last is that direction can be given to the government by court to answer whether it has been spying on citizens not accused of any offense, and ask for the direct answer yes or no. The next is the constitutional right to health. Now, constitutional right to health. So why it is important, the constitutional right to health? So see here, right to health is not a constitutional right currently in India, but the author is saying that we should make it a fundamental right. Why? Because it is going to benefit farmers who have very less income, and especially those farmers who are laborers, seasonal workers, and unorganized farmers and unorganized workers. Okay, that the right to health will ensure that they have access to healthcare services, which will reduce the debt burden. The second is for women, that women also face the same issues, and taboos and patriarchal expectations surrounding their health lead to suffering and alienation. So right to health will approach that women can access the health service whenever they need it. The third is about the children who are marginalized, who are working as the laborers. So access to healthcare will ensure that the out-of-pocket medical expenditure is very less for those children, and it will be very safe for them. Okay, the next is about protecting India's natural laboratories. अब इस आर्टिकल में ये दिखाया गया है कि इंडिया की फिजिकल डाइवर्सिटी बहुत ज़्यादा है. ओके, द इंडियाज फिजिकल डाइवर्सिटी इज वेरी हाई. Now this physical diversity has led to cultural diversity in India. Now we need to protect our physical diversity. How we will protect our physical diversity? Just by setting up geoparks. Geoparks. इंडिया में अभी एक भी geoparks नहीं है. But we will see Vietnam, Thailand, they have conserved their geological and natural heritage by declaring the area as the global geoparks under the UNESCO program, just like we have a biosphere program. Okay, now if we will just see India, so see here example have been given that the Kutch region in Gujarat, they have dinosaur fossils. The Tiruchirappalli region of Tamil Nadu, they have Mesozoic oceans. Okay, so we need to protect it. So there is a need for protecting the geo heritage. Then is there any global effort to protect it? So see, the importance of the shared geological heritage of our planet was recognized in 1991 at UNESCO sponsored event, which led to the first international symposium on the conservation of our geological heritage. Now there was the declaration under this that the geoparks will be set up for protecting the geological history of any region. So under that, many countries they set up the geoparks protecting their geological and natural heritage, but till now India has not set up any geopark. So for this we have to pass the legislation, just as we have passed the Biological Diversity Act, and by passing the legislation we can set up the geopark area, which can help us in protecting our geological history. The next is about the climate crisis. So as I was discussing that the IPCC report which has raised a warning, clarion call का मतलब होता है कि मतलब warning bell, तो clarion call. So according to this, the past decade was means 2011 से 2020 का जो decade था, it was warmer by 1.09 degrees Celsius. Okay, and the 5 degrees Celsius global warming threshold is likely to be breached. अगर हम इंडिया का परफॉर्मेंस देखें द ग्लोबल क्लाइमेट रिस्क इंडेक्स में, तो इंडिया वाज रैंक्ड एज 7th मोस्ट अफेक्टेड कंट्री बाय वेदर एक्सट्रीम्स. अब हमको अगर इस सिचुएशन से लड़ना है तो वी हैव टू अडॉप्ट 2 स्ट्रेटेजीज, मिटिगेशन एंड एडेप्टेशन. मिटिगेशन के लिए हम क्या कर रहे हैं, मिटिगेशन के लिए इंडिया इज टारगेटिंग 450 गीगावाट्स ऑफ रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी कैपेसिटी बाय 2030. इट हैज़ लॉन्च्ड ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन मिशन. देन नीति आयोग का शून्य प्रोग्राम है विच एम्स टू एक्सेलरेट एडॉप्शन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स. फिर अडेप्टेशन के लिए क्या कर रहे हैं, वी हैव नेशनल एक्शन प्लान ऑन क्लाइमेट चेंज एंड नेशनल अडेप्टेशन फंड फॉर अडेप्टेशन. इसके अलावा हमें क्या करना चाहिए, सो देयर आर सर्टन स्टेप्स ओवर हियर. द फर्स्ट इज दैट वी शुड हैव हाई क्वालिटी मेट्रोलॉजिकल डेटा, कि ताकि हम डिज़ास्टर रिस्क को, क्राइसिस को फोरकास्ट कर सके, प्रोजेक्ट कर सके और असेसमेंट कर सके. सेकेंड, हमारा जो प्रोडक्शन सिस्टम होना चाहिए वो सस्टेनेबल होना चाहिए. ठीक है. थर्ड, कि प्राइवेट सेक्टर पार्टिसिपेशन होना चाहिए फॉर स्पेशली फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी एंड क्लाइमेट रिलेटेड सर्विसेज. फोर्थ, वी नीड टू प्रिजर्व मैंग्रोव्स एंड फॉरेस्ट एरिया फॉर बेटर अडेप्टेशन. ओके. देन फिफ्थ, वी शुड हैव द सोशल प्रोटेक्शन स्कीम्स विच इज़ क्लाइमेट प्रूफ. देन द सिक्स्थ इज मॉनिटरिंग एंड इवेल्युएशन एंड इफेक्टिव फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म्स, ताकि हम पीरियोडिक डेवलपमेंट अपने क्लाइमेट स्ट्रेटेजी का करते रहें. So that's all for today. We will meet tomorrow again with the Hindu analysis. Till then, take care. Thank you. Have a nice day.